Letting go is simple when you do this. Hey there, my friend. In this video, we'll answer one really specific question that I've been contemplating for a while to understand deeply what the process, the technique of letting go actually is. So here is the question that we will try to answer in this video. What's the difference between being aware of a feeling that you're identified with and going through the process of surrendering into it and letting it go? So basically, in this video, you understand how to make letting go simple. But there is a little bit of difference actually, because ultimately letting go is so simple, but it is not easy. It is ultimately simple actually. It's so simple that we wouldn't accept how simple it is, and that's why it's not easy. So it's like our mind always tries to overcomplicate it. And my intention with this video is first to answer this question and through some and then to show you a simple practice that you can only apply if you understand how it works. That's why before we get to that practice by the end of the video, a practice of how you can start the letting go process and experience. But before we get to it, I want to explain exactly how it works through some concepts, through some examples, like a general one and an example in my life, and then I will show you exactly what it is. So that being the case, let's directly begin. First of all, it's important to understand that like every attachment that we have to any person, label, outcome, belief, identity, it always gives us some form of security that we can experience a feeling only if we are attached to that label, only if we believe that belief, only if we are attached to that outcome, only if we are attached to that person. So our mind always creates this idea. It's identified with the idea. This is the attachment. It's always identified with the idea that we can only allow ourselves to experience a feeling if, and then dots dots dots. If I believe this, if this happens, if this person does something, if he doesn't do something. And it's like we need to understand what our mind is attached to be able to let go of this repressed feeling that we are holding on to. So, and this is crucial to understand because this idea that our mind creates, it's actually the like when we're trying to control it, we're trying to control the outcome, we're trying to control the behavior of that person, we're trying to control ourselves in believing what we need to believe to experience this feeling or to not experience other feeling that we are running away from. So that being the case, it's also crucial to understand how control, like wanting to control, this is actually what creates the resistance and what is creating the lack of trust of us being able to experience the feeling that we only believe we can experience if we are attached to that strategy. So this is crucial to understand because with this understanding, it's so much easier to understand to know how letting go actually works, like the mechanics of it, how it works. So we are not able to let go because we are attached to some strategy that with this strategy, we want to control the outcome, we want to control a belief, we want to control a person, we want to control like our idea of what specific label means. Like we want to control our identity, and since we want to control it, we are not allowing ourselves to experience the feeling of it fulfillment without anything else, like just because, without anything else that is necessary before that. So we always make a feeling of what we want to experience the end, and then we have the resistance, this attachment to the resistance, to the strategy, to the belief, to the person, to the outcome. This is the means that allow us to go to the end, which the end is the feeling. And so unless we understand what is this attachment and how it operates, we won't be able to experience the end, and the end is the feeling. So this is what I mean by every attachment to any person, label, outcome, belief, identity gives us some form of security that we can only experience a feeling if something happens. And this is the attachment. The something is the attachment. So basically, another way to look at that is the belief that if I don't get what I want, I will not be happy. This is basically the biggest block. And so we need to discover what is the feeling that the attachment symbolizes. So because like when we are attached to an outcome, to a person, let's have an example of being attached to an outcome with a person and to a specific person, because this is like what I talk about a lot in this channel. So maybe this is something that you're going through. We need to understand what is the feeling that this attachment to a person symbolizes. So let's take an example of the feeling of love. So I'll use this example of, which is like a general example that I found so many women struggle with, who have closed themselves to love. So this is the example of the woman who is being attached to her ex-husband because she doesn't believe that she will find better love, and that's why she won't let him go. She's attached to the idea that she won't find a man who will love her as much as her ex-husband loved her, and that's why she doesn't want to let him go. And so by not wanting to let him go, here are some of the feelings that this attachment symbolizes. The attachment symbolizes running away from the feeling of loss, because she's afraid to experience the feeling of loss, the sensations of loss. She doesn't want to let go of that idea that her husband is only the only man that can love her the way he loved her, and there is no other man in the whole world, on the whole earth, that will love her as much as he did. And so that's why she won't let go of that attachment, because she is afraid of the feeling of loss. She doesn't want to feel it. She's running away from it. And she's also she also believes that she can only be loved again if she meets a man who loved her as much as her ex-husband did, which is not possible. She will never meet that man because she's attached to that idea. So can you see the paradox here? Like, she won't allow herself, she will always resist the feeling of love, because she's attached to the idea that no other man can love her as much as her ex-boyfriend, ex-husband. So unless she lets go of that attachment, she won't be able to experience love, and she won't be able to experience the feeling of loss. And so unless she lets go of those two feelings, she will be living in the past. And now the question that arises here, and the question that I wanted to answer initially with this video, is what's the difference between being aware of a feeling we are identified with and then going through the process of surrendering into it and letting it go? Well, the difference is basically understanding what this attachment is. And so the only way to make letting go simple is by going through this process, through this exercise. And this exercise includes asking yourself one simple question. This question is why? Why am I so attached to wanting my specific person to do something? Otherwise, I won't be able to feel love from him. Why am I attached to that? And then you get an answer. And to that answer, you again ask the question, why? Why is that true? Because here is the truth about this question. This question, it's like it entices the feeling of curiosity. So by asking why, you're curious about the deeper understanding, the deeper the deeper attachment. So instead of just looking of why you're attached on the surface, like, you always ask this question on a deeper level. So every answer you get, you again ask the question why. And I'll give you an example of like what I've experienced with myself in my relationship to my specific person that I'm exploring right now. So here is what happened. We're basically having this we had this idea of like meeting together, like meeting together, and she coming to my place for a couple of days, because it's like a long distance relationship. And then she was like, she started being ill. She like caught some flu or something. And then I started feeling hurt, because the potential of her not coming to my place was already a possibility, and I was feeling hurt about it, because like I was attached to the outcome that I can only experience her love, if she comes to my place and we spend some time together. Now, this is obviously not the case, but I didn't know it. And so the way I understood it, because I was feeling a little bit resistant, I was feeling hurt, I was trying to control the situation. So I was trying to make her heal, I was trying to give her all these things that she can try to heal because, for example, for myself, I've always been healing from within. So I don't take any medications and things like that since 6 years ago or something, because since I understood how our emotional and like subtle body works, then I'm just being able to let go of my illnesses instead of like healing them with some medications. And so I was telling her some things that she can try, but this is not so much, this is like not part of her world. So it's a little bit distant. All these concepts that I was sharing with her were a little bit distant, and she was not able to apply them because she's not as aware of how they operate as I am. And but the curious thing here is that I was trying to control that situation to make her come to my place. So because I believed that I can only feel her love if he shows it to me by coming to my place. Even though she is being ill and she won't enjoy it as much as if she enjoyed if she were healthy. So, and I was feeling hurt about it. And then I started asking, then I started going through this process. And the process again is just following the trail of whys. Why do I feel that way? Well, okay, because I'm afraid that if she doesn't come, then I might not be as important to her. Okay, why is that true? Well, because if she doesn't come and I'm not important to her, then maybe it means that she doesn't love me. Okay, why is that true? Well, it's like, and then you have to go deeper, deeper, always go deeper. And then I was like, well, it's like, and then it starts hurting, right? So you're going to the core of the feeling. So I was like, well, because I'll not only feel that I'm not important for her and that she might not love me, then why would that be true? Well, I will feel abandoned if she doesn't come. It's as if she will abandon me. And this is where like the feeling starts coming up. And this is where the letting go process starts. So this is the difference between being aware of a feeling and going through the process of surrendering and letting go. The difference is asking this question, why, honestly. And so when I got to that level, when I understood that my wound of abandonment was triggered, then it started coming up. And so tears started pouring. And so I started letting it go naturally. And then I understood that, okay, through this experience, I'm actually learning to be more patient and secure of the love that I know I experience. Through that experience, she's learning to like have more productive time for herself, to um, to start loving herself more so that we can experience greater love together and more quality time together when the time is right. And so I know that this is what we are learning from one another. Beforehand, I knew that I was learning to be more patient through our relationship together because, again, relationships are always about growth. So there is something that you're always learning from your relationship with your specific person. And so this is the way I was becoming more patient, and I'm becoming more patient. This is the way that she's able to open herself to trusting more. So because this is something that she was struggling with, she's struggling with. And so she know that in her case, like she can only fully accept that somebody loves her if she loves herself. So this is why what she's learning through that experience. She's trusting that she loves herself enough so that she can see how somebody else loves her. And but I could only see that when I followed this trail of whys and I was able to surrender my resistance. And before that, I was trying to control it. So control is always resistance. Control is always lack of trust. I was lacking the trust that there is greater symbol of how she loves me than what I perceived would be the way she loved me. And what I perceived way would be is for her coming to my place. So I perceived that this is the only way she can show her love. And like she's being ill, right? So she won't enjoy it. So it's like if I loved her, it's like, and I do, then it becomes my responsibility to let go of that attachment. So can you see what I mean now? Again, from explaining the concepts to giving this general example and giving this personal example, can you see what the letting go process looks like? Can you see the difference between being aware of a feeling? Because I was aware of being hurt, but I was not letting it go. The same as with this woman. Instead, like, unless she goes through this trail, follows that trail of whys, and goes to the depth of the feeling, she won't be able to start the process of letting it go. So what you need to do is follow the trail of whys to reach the core of the emotion, and to reach the core of the emotion behind the attachment. So by following the trail of whys, you ultimately reach the core of the emotion. But through that process of reaching it, by following the trail of the first why, second why, third why, fourth why, so on and so forth, you will understand what is the attachment. And so by understanding what is the attachment, you reach the core of the emotion and then start letting it go by focusing your awareness on letting it be as it is. And now here is the other important thing, which I shared about in the other letting go videos I have. I'll also attach the playlist of all my letting go videos so you can check them out and you can get a greater understanding of this whole process. But it's like you cannot want to change that feeling, because if you want to change it, you're resisting it. So that's why start letting it go by focusing your awareness on letting it be exactly as it is. You don't want to let it go. Like you don't want to change it. You don't want to make it different. You just let it be as it is. And then it starts coming up. And by it coming up, you let it go. So this is what I mean, my friend. This is what this process is all about. Following the trail of whys. So see where you feel resistance about what you feel resistant, and then see where this feels in your body. And then by knowing where it feels, start asking yourself the question, why? And then to the answer, why? And then to the next answer, why? And you do that consistently until it starts coming up. And when it starts coming up, then you just focus on letting it be as it is, and the letting go happens spontaneously. You don't do it. You allow the experience of letting go to happen by itself by following the trail of whys. This is what the letting go process is all about. That being the case, my friend, hope you like this video. If this is true, subscribe to the channel if you are new to it, to the Soulful Relationships channel, because my intention with this channel is to help you experience the most conscious, uplifting, and supporting yeah, it's like one of the other, supporting relationships with everybody in your life. So if you share that intention with me, subscribe to the channel, and I would love to see you around. And now, if you want to understand even deeper the process of letting go, here is the one thing that makes it hard. And this is what the biggest resistance to letting go is. Check out this video where I explain that, and so you can make it more effortless for yourself to let go on a consistent daily basis. That being the case, thank you so much for watching, my friends. Subscribe to the channel if you are new to it. I'm Daniel, your host, and I'll see you around in the next video. Love you so much. Bye bye for now. Have a great day. Bye bye.